We had just arrived in London when my master dismissed me. He left me with nothing more than a few shillings in my pocket. Other than that, I am alone. Having never been to England before, I was not sure what I was to expect. But one thing was for sure, I was never to be a servant to that Mr. Holliday no more, and I watched as he strode off into the distance. As I looked around, I saw ships on my rear, a port on my left, and London was directly in front of me. Everywhere I looked, there were white people. Not another fellow Negro in sight, and without one to comfort me, I was afraid to talk to just about anyone. What if they tried to harm me, or capture me again? I don't want to be working for anyone no more, and just as I thought of this to myself, a vessel began to unload. Off came at least a dozen British troops, and one man who must have been the commander. They all marched off the boat looking quite ridiculous, all dressed in red with black hats, white stockings up to their knees, and a white sash and belt. They made me especially nervous as I'd never been so close to them, and at this point I was completely alone and quite scared. Just as I was sure they were not going to see me, one of the men alerted the commander, who promptly turned towards me and began advancing in my direction. I was in no condition to want to speak to him, but I felt that running away was not a good idea, as I knew not where I was, and if I did run, they would surely find me. "Hello," he said. "Who are you with, son?" "No one," I replied. "My master had just left me here, with nothing but the clothes on my back and these," and I showed him the shillings. "Well, I am Lord Frederick North, Prime Minister of this great land, and I would like to propose something to you. Lad, you look like a mighty stout fellow, and we're always looking for strong recruits. We pay decent, you get clean clothes, a roof over your head, and food to eat. Seeing as you are here with nothing, and here we are extending our hand, you have nothing to lose, and only everything to gain." I was stunned. I could not believe I was blessed to come upon a man who would present me with an opportunity to start a new life. "Yes, sir," I replied, and the look on his face told me that he was delighted to have me as part of his crew. And he said, "Now you can follow us on up, and we'll get you all signed up and into uniform." It was August 5th, 1781, when the first of the Dutch fleet came to sight just over the horizon. At first we thought they were only joking. We had the fastest and strongest ship at the time, and their 36-gun Zephyr was just no match for the 80-gun Princess Amelia. But it appeared I had spoken too soon, for that very moment emerged 12 ships in the distance. Though the challenge, we also had 12 mighty vessels behind us, and I knew we must battle them, and battle them we shall. The first enemy ship neared us, and I was able to read its name. Holland, it said. It was a 68-gun vessel that was still no match for us, and as I thought about that, we both opened fire. I was not a gunner, so I took cover below deck, and I could feel the cannonballs penetrate the hull, but no sooner did we take damage than the other ship ceased fire and sank to a watery grave. Ships to the port and starboard sides, the smell of burning lumber, as enemy vessels slowly perished one by one to eventually meet their ultimate fate in Davy Jones' locker. As the battle continued, the skies opened up, and down came a ferocious storm that created the greatest swells I swear I'd ever seen. The captain had abandoned his position at the helm, and he came down to me and he said, "Son, we're taking on water, and we're not going to be able to pull out of this one in one piece. It's every man for himself." And with that, he drew his sword and abandoned the ship.